Hey, welcome everyone. Got Conspiracy Theory Kyle. Got a new name.
Yeah, no. It's the Conspiracy Theory. What was it? The King?
King.
King
Conspiracy Theory. Yeah. Say, hey, make sure you guys can see us and hear us. Tell us in the chat room. Also tell us where you're from. And we literally got everything set up with it like a minute left.
It's like 20 seconds.
And we started way before my phone. I forgot to silence my phone.
No. I'm sure.
Hey, so we'll be right back in just a second. I have a few announcements. We'll get started. Okay, we are here. Welcome to Preppernet Live. Thursday night, we got Kyle in the house.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while. Well, that's because we'll talk about that. We will talk about that. I do have a few announcements. You guys know me. So I'll cue the music down. Okay, we got Kyle, preparedness consultant and podcaster.
That's what I do nowadays.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hey, join Preppernet. I don't really need to say a lot on that. Join Preppernet.
I have a question. How many members are on Preppernet?
That's a tricky question.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now in our database, we have over 39,000 people. But in all our meetups, we have over 35,000 people. But there's more. I mean, so cumulatively, with my best webmaster, because we can compare like IP addresses and things, we think we have 50,000+ members total.
Okay.
Okay.
But how many subscribers do you have on YouTube?
Like 5,000.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't ever tell people subscribe, like, and donate. Okay, wait, I made that one up. Okay.
We splitting that one?
Yeah. Hey, so join preppernet.com. There's some great software in there in the back. There's a free and there's a paid. Paid helps us like pay for the meetups. I pay over $6,000 a year in meetups and over almost $3,500 a year in MailChimp because we have so many email people. Actually, we have more than 39. I think it's 47. I should have looked. So anyway, so let's keep going. Hey, we have meetup groups in all these areas. Right now, with COVID, these are called super spreaders. Actually, they're not. Some groups are meeting, some groups are just doing online, some groups are just going to the coffee house or on hiking trips and things like that. So look it up on Meetup. We got them everywhere. If we don't have one in your city, what are you supposed to do, Kyle?
Start one.
Yeah, you're supposed to email us. We got a place on the website. You can fill out a form, and we will help you start one. Okay, we do have the premium membership. It's $40 a year. Is that a lot of money?
$40? I mean, in 2019 it wasn't. In 2020, that's like a gold bar.
Wait a second. That's like 50 rounds of 9mm ammo.
50.
50. That's all. We priced it today.
That sounds kind of cheap.
Yeah. So, okay. Hey, we're on MeWe. We're on Facebook too, but we've moved all our people over to MeWe just for the fact that Facebook sucks.
Whoa.
Oh, wait. You can't.
You're not allowed to say certain things anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I can't. Well, I mean, because they're so evil and I can't say that.
No.
Okay. I did not say that. I retract that statement.
Right.
But they do suck.
They do. But you can't.
Okay. I can't say it. Okay. So we're on MeWe. Join us over on MeWe. Look up Preppernet and boom, we're there. Hey, a little reminder. In the past, I mean, there's some great shows on YouTube. Go and watch them. I mean, we had Glenn Tate, Shelby Gallagher. This is why, I mean, these are bigger names than you.
We'll see who lives longer.
Okay. Ross Powell from Survival 401k. We had Jonathan Hollerman, Grid Down Consulting. Then we had Thanksgiving. He was good.
Yeah.
That was a big turkey. I ate him.
That's actually going to be really true.
Yeah.
Come like 20 years from now, be like, among all us preppers, who's still alive?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you're back on that again? Okay, Kyle made me turn on the heat. I just want you to know that. And we're going to be sweating in about 4 minutes. Because this thing is like, it's like the sun.
I mean, it is glowing orange. And there might be some flares coming off of it.
Okay, so then we had last week, Prepper Princess.
Could you have gotten a worse picture of me?
That's the
You
only
can't
photo
even
I have of
see.
you.
It just looks
Well,
like.
do you mind if I hire a professional photographer
Yeah,
and take some
please
shots?
do. 'Cause
With
it looks-
you maybe on a railroad track?
It looks right now like I'm leaning in, threatening somebody.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like hiding your face too. It kind of is blurred a little bit. I thought that would fit.
I thought about maybe I should just start wearing like a mask, and we can do like one of those voiceovers where it makes you really deep, like you're being interviewed on a Dateline special.
Can I get you like a railroad track, and with some photos with you walking down it and things like that? I mean, that's the thing. I see them on Instagram all the time.
How are you doing on Instagram?
I don't know. And hey, next week is our Christmas special. We have Scott Hunt, Engineer 775. You like Scott, don't you?
Yeah, he all right. He my people.
Your people. Okay, books. Okay, books. Yes, I do promote these books. These books I make like nothing on, but it gets my heart, kind of the Word of God, and tells you why we need to be preppers. The one the case for Christian preparedness. It actually makes the case from the Bible that you need to prepare. And I go through like 20 different verses. That was actually edited, and it wasn't forwarded, but edited by one of the most known theologians in the world. You know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
And he has since passed away, but he made sure that I was scripturally accurate. The book Stand Firm to the End is a New Testament look, and it's really what that book screams is, church, get off your butt. End times are coming. We need to trust God, and we need to be ready by being prepared.
You know, I seen something today, speaking of which, and I feel like this could be a testament to your book. They actually said that people who are doing the best psychologically during this time is actually Christians who are still attending church.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
That's weird. We're reading the same news. So anyway, check them out. They're both like under like $6, I believe, on Amazon. And then Kyle made fun of these books because I'll tell you, they are thin. I mean, there's like 70 pages. Get them on Kindle. Sometimes I'll do them for free if you want to wait for them. Actually, if you join,
they're a good toilet read. I'm kidding. Dude, I can see the hurt in your eye. I can see the actual hurt in your eye. I'm kidding. They're longer than that.
So he made fun of it earlier. But I forgot what I was going to say. If you join premium membership, you get like 6 or 7 books you can download. And both these books are downloadable for free if you're a premium member. Okay? And then What did you say about this one?
That actually looks like a real book.
This is a real book. This is one I just published. I spent years putting together. I taught a whole class on it on YouTube during the pandemic for free. You remember that?
Yep.
I did that? It was like 7 weeks. And that was 7 weeks, was only 6 chapters in the book.
Is that, I forget, is that the one that we had the parts of it in there from like whenever we first
Yes. Matter of
when we
fact,
first got started?
when we first did podcasts 5 years ago, we did 101, 102.
Yep.
We did all that. And that
like
is
what to do every month, first 30. next 30.
mindset, things you need to buy, and skills. We did that. Wait, let me look in the book. Did I even give you credit this time? I don't think I did. But I want you to see something, though. You probably don't know this.
Did you?
You probably don't even know this. I would like to give a shout out. I really say that to Mark, Kyle, Tenderfoot.
I'm so touched.
Your name is actually in my book.
Touched.
Jerk. Okay. Oh, we can't see the chat. I need to go over to chat room. Hey, this is we'll go to chat room. We are from the Preppernet Academy. You can listen to all these things on the any podcast, on our podcast, on all the different medias. Okay, we're finished the slides. Okay, I haven't even looked at the. Okay, we're back in the chat now. We can see the chat. So, see the chat there. Everyone's saying, Forrest, you really look good tonight. What is wrong with Kyle?
Yeah, I don't see that. Maybe I need to get my eyes checked.
Oh, yeah, it didn't say that. So, I need to get this screen off here.
Yeah,
So, okay.
There you go. Technology.
Okay, we have Kyle, a consultant, a podcaster, a conspiracy theory lover.
We probably shouldn't call me that anymore. At least on YouTube. Maybe if we did like Rumble or something like that.
We're on Rumble.
Oh, good.
Well, so we're getting there.
Okay.
We're on all the different. We're just trying to get there. So that just brings down. I'm going to write down this because we need to talk about that. You don't know what that is, do you?
Before Christ?
No, $sign before Christ. No, our we've got into some. Yeah,
some investments.
some investments.
Yeah.
We'll bring that up. So tell us, Paul. Paul.
Paul.
Well, see, I'm John from the Bible. You're Paul. No,
There's implications there.
I know. So what have you been doing?
Nothing.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I've been doing some things. I've definitely been doing some of that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of that.
Working on some things for my own business.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying to teach myself AutoCAD and CNC and 3D design,
yeah,
stuff like that. That's fun. Raising chickens, making delicious eggs.
Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about your chickens a little bit? So sometimes I'll call him at night, and I'll go, dude, what's that sound? He goes, what's the one that sits on your shoulder all the time?
Dottie.
Dottie sits on his shoulder, and then the other night he goes, crap, Dottie's jumped on my head, and so apparently he's okay with that, and he's still talking to me.
That's fine.
And then all of a sudden he goes, crap, she crapped on me.
I mean, she kind of gets up back here, and then it just kind of flies over my shoulder. I mean, it's just.
Is that a soft side?
What?
I mean, you're bonding with
I
chickens.
love my chickens. They're my girls.
Yeah.
They're my ladies.
Mhm.
And they make some delicious eggs.
Up to 4 a week now?
No, it's more than that. It's about at least a dozen.
And
And I
did you bring some?
no. I ate them already.
I got rabbits galore. I have so many rabbits I had to sell some.
Yeah, you told me about that.
So
What was it, like 15?
sold 15 of them. They're
Set
probably
memory.
in the freezer right now. I did butcher some before I sold them.
You butched them?
But butchered some of
I was
them.
gonna say, how do you butcher a
I
rabbit?
got the most amazing knife, though. I told you about that.
Yes.
That thing will just like slice and dice.
Yeah.
So I was
You'll
doing
never
it.
be as fast as
I was doing it the wrong way before.
You'll never be as fast as your rabbit guy though.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! Oh no!
That was kind of like
Did you go to that with me?
yeah.
I mean, he can. Okay. At Bug Out Camp 2 years ago, I told everyone and bragged about it. I can take a rabbit and have them on the grill in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
He do like 20 seconds.
He can do it in half the time. Yes.
No, like 20 seconds. It's
He could do it so fast. This is kind of disgusting, everyone. But he could do it so fast. He would throw the heart on the ground, and he would put the next heart on the ground, and both of them were still beating.
yeah, literally.
Is that disgusting? Can we talk about this one?
I don't care.
Okay. So anyway, I'm the rabbit. He's the chicken guy. And
my name's on YouTube. I'm not easily offended by anything.
Yeah.
Which apparently we should probably discuss because, you know, who
We
knows at
can get
any
in-
point.
we can't get into that yet. That's
Okay.
deep.
Okay.
You took us last time down these rabbit trails, and I was like, oh, brother. But let's talk about what you've been doing and what maybe I've been doing for the pandemic. Not that yet, just prepping and preparing. Because people ask me all the time. I got a phone call last night. Forrest, what have you been doing? What areas are you working on, and what should I be working on? And while you start answering that, I'm going to turn the sun off. Are you hot enough?
No, I'm fine.
It's like 80 in here now.
It is not, oh my God.
I got a thermometer right
You're
over
like a
here.
middle-aged
Excuse me a
woman with
second.
hot flashes. It's like 70 degrees in here at best.
It's 74.
Okay.
We'll turn.
Close enough. So, what I've been personally doing. I don't know, man. Like stuff that I would regularly do, but I've been trying to zero in on a little bit more. Taking inventories on the food groups that I have. I've definitely expanded my food. Although I've noticed this really disturbing trend whenever you go to places like Costco's, people make fun about people with more food, accusing them of hoarding. That's not necessarily the case. I feel like some of us are actually just out there buying our groceries and just get a little bit extra. But you good?
So you got chickens this year.
Yeah, I got chickens.
You
I
had a
expanded
big
my
garden.
Yep, and I'm gonna do a little bit more this year. I'm looking right now at getting some lighting for doing some indoor stuff. I'll probably start beginning of February.
You also did some water storage from rain catchment.
Yep, so I did about 260, 70 gallons, somewhere around there.
And do you use that for your garden?
Yep.
Okay. Do you have the soaker hoses in there? No.
I'm just going to run a PVC pipe down to it, and then otherwise I was just using a hose.
Okay. What else have you
Because I
done?
have that elevated up on a
remember?
hill that's probably about 40 foot up.
What else have you done? You cleaned up your workshop
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and painted that and got that finished.
Yep. Reworked all my gun storage, reworked all my ammo storage.
And you're starting a business.
Which hopefully will take off because, you know, and hopefully some of the other stuff we've been doing will take off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you been doing? Can't think of anything
I haven't
else.
really been working out. You have been, though.
I've been working out a
in
little
better
bit.
shape.
I've lost 30 pounds. I know it probably doesn't seem like it, but I'm like, I still feel big. But yeah.
Tapeworms are amazing.
You know,
No, you've been doing good. You told me you were going, what was it, Atkins?
you a little bit of this low carb. And I took Thanksgiving off. And
High steak.
Mhm.
High steak intake.
Yes.
Mhm.
A lot of burgers, a lot of chicken, a lot of cheese, vegetables,
I got
bacon. Oh, bacon. I've learned the secret to bacon. If you buy like 5 packs and just cook it all at one time and then store it, it makes for a great week.
You know, I gotta say, I kind of feel, and this might be a little bit too deep, but it feels weird whenever I tend to my chickens and then I go and eat chicken.
I never had
It's
that
like, can
problem.
they smell it on my breath? And
Yeah.
they're like,
Dottie. No.
no. Well, either that or you eat the eggs and it's just like, they just crapped on you and then they produce this egg
Yeah.
and it's like, I know where that came from.
Man. Okay. You guys on the camera can't see it, but where is it? Yeah. You see that right there? Oh, y'all can't see that. That's a scratch.
Mhm.
You see that? Do you?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
I ate her. Them rabbits, if you don't hold them right.
Yeah.
So now I learned a lesson. You just don't pick them up without gloves on. So I have welding gloves. You know, they go up to here.
Mhm.
I'm like, go at it. Come on, try to scratch me. Now it's no problem at all. But I learned the lesson. I got a permanent mark.
I feel like I could see you walking out there with like a full like
bodysuit.
EOD suit, just trying to reach in and
Give
grab
him my
each one of these.
armor
Yeah.
plated things and put them on. Yeah. So with me, I started my rabbits and expanded that. So I got rabbits do one thing good, guys, and
It's that.
yeah. And I've stepped my game up. I built an AR-15 pistol. Shot that yesterday.
I'm amazed it didn't blow up in your face.
First time.
Amazed.
Actually, you helped me put that one together.
Is it the one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, then
Yeah. Shot
that
it.
one did well.
I got an EOTech on it. Put it out 25 yards and sighted it in. It shot.
How was that?
It was 2 days ago. 2 days ago.
Was that the only distance you had that you could do, or did you just not want to do 5,200?
Well, we couldn't go that far. We could have, but we'd have to shoot right beside the house. I mean, yeah. I was out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, oh my gosh. It was in the middle of nowhere. I'm not sure I've been in North Carolina so
remote.
It's 30 minutes to a gas station. It was a lot of fun. And I shot my new Glock 48.
You have a Glock obsession that's unhealthy.
Glocks are heaven's protection. And so Glock 48 is a small gun like the 43. Mm-hmm. It's a smaller gun. But this a company makes it's called a S2 magazine where you can have 15 rounds and not extend it in the Glock. And that's amazing for it's not really considered a subcompact, but it's the same width as a subcompact. And 15 rounds in a Glock 48, it weighs almost half as my Glock 19. And I love it. I do love it. I think I text you. I love it.
He probably texts me once a week about buying a new Glock, I feel. At times. I don't think there's actually that many Glocks in his house.
If my wife is on this channel, that's not true at all. You know that.
But I feel like it's pretty consistent.
So we do have to say though, that we both have family members watching tonight.
Yes, and they just
You already said, I need to watch what I say. I'm not sure I do because I usually don't stick my foot in my mouth or.
I will watch it within moderation.
Okay. So and we both picked up our food storages because most of my food is up in Miami where my retreat is.
Because we're in South America right now, right?
Yeah. And so what else have I done? I don't know what else.
I mean, you've gotten some more, we'll call them force multipliers and stuff like that, and you've upped your game a little bit there.
Yeah.
You've definitely bartered a little bit more.
Been bartering. Yep. The guy I bartered even some of the rabbits. So,
yeah. I honestly, I'm at a point now where with the prepping, I've been doing this for too many years.
Since you were 3.
True facts. But it's kind of gotten to the point where I honestly don't feel the need. There's one item in particular that I'm probably going to purchase within the next 6 months.
I don't know what that is. I'm trying to barter for that right now.
Yeah. Beyond that, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm going to, step up my game a little bit with the gardening. Like I said, I'm going to start earlier this year. And that's it.
Okay. So we got the preparing, what we've been doing. The next thing was, okay, this moron, I'm sorry, Kyle, about a month ago said, hey, in a text, have you ever traded Bitcoin or Ethereum or XRP?
Yeah, I just want to say this is not financial advice. I'm not giving anybody financial advice. I wouldn't trust either of us to confidently give
This is not even for entertainment. This is just, but we started going down the road of altcoins, they call it. Just for the fact that we both felt that it's a good time. The market's done good. Maybe we should move some of our money, and maybe we should. We didn't have any inside information, but we had some hunches and did some studying.
Yeah, actual research.
Not
just a bunch of guys out of work just sitting on their butts like a lot of millennials are doing, and just like, hey, look,
we are just.
I'm gonna buy. What was it? Hertz. Let me buy Hertz. No, I didn't buy any Hertz.
Yeah. So we've been investing in altcoins, and couple investments I've doubled my money in.
Oh yeah, easy, like 250%.
Yes. And Ethereum, which I'm in, has done very well. And don't buy any of these because you will lose your butt. Matter of fact, my brother-in-law, which is like a financial, he's big time.
Yeah, when you told me what he did, and then come back, I was kind of like,
and he got into it. He got into it because I asked him a question. I called him and said, "Hey, you ever got into currency? I wanted to get some tools to learn." He goes, "No, that's gambling. I would never do that." I'm like, "Okay." So we talked about other things. The next morning, he texted me and he said, "Hey, I bought some Bitcoin and some Ethereum." I'm like, "What the heck?" But we have been getting into some altcoins and trading them, and we're in one right now that we believe that could be at least a 10 to 50x.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people believe it as well.
And I was actually surprised that you held. Because I think whenever stuff started to go up and it was looking good, I was like, he's going to sell. And I'm kind of surprised to see you're holding.
I'm in for the long haul. So and we don't mind telling people, but so this particular one is called XRP, which is Ripple.
Yep.
Is going to be the backbone for currency. It's going to be kind of
it's going to replace the SWIFT system.
The SWIFT system, yes.
Yeah.
And if you own it before tomorrow, in 2 days, you actually get another free alt currency coin. They're going to give us to us.
Yeah, one Flare network, Spark. It's going to be a 1-for-1 ratio on the airdrop.
There's so many people you can watch on YouTube. We're not encouraging people to get into this. We're doing this as really, we hope the investment lasts, but it's really kind of like our play money.
Yeah. This is kind of like, I'm going to leave it in there until at least 2025 or until it hits a certain benchmark, and then.
So and then we'll move on. What's been the most surprising thing, or the thing you've learned the most about currency? And it was all foreign to me a month ago. I'm like, what? If you remember, like 3 years ago, I bought something, and I bought 4 Bitcoins because I didn't know the final price, and I bought it, and it cost me 3 Bitcoins. Now this is probably maybe 4 years ago. At that time, Bitcoins were in the hundreds of dollars.
Yeah. Imagine the guys who bought them in at like 8 cents.
I know.
That could be us, though.
Yeah.
Could be.
Now Bitcoin's at $18,000.
Yeah, and I think Bitcoin's definitely going to go higher, just because people are trying to look for a safe haven for their finances. But
a lot of hedge funds. One hedge fund just put $50 million in one.
Is it JP?
JP Morgan or Goldman? Maybe JP Morgan.
I think Morgan.
So big companies are getting into.
And I honestly, I kind of follow. I didn't know that as far as them for Bitcoin, and I have not seen that they did anything with Ripple. But it's like silver. Whenever I've seen them years back, start dumping funds into silver, I was like, probably ought to go ahead and do this.
Yeah. So that's enough about. So my biggest thing is when I started, because I've studied the stock market for years, and I've studied the charts. I know charts, and I'm like, they started talking charts with alt currency, and I'm like, wait, charts can't work with this, but it does.
Yeah. I don't know. I was a huge skeptic years and years ago. I remember having an app that would actually go through and mine Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I think I deleted it and lost all my passwords. So it's somewhere out there I own more of that stuff. But now we both partake in Pi.
Oh, pie. Oh, yeah.
So
I forgot about pie.
yeah, and it doesn't have any value to it right now, but it will down the road, probably.
It's the birthing
over the next year
of a new currency.
Yes. When you refer to it as birthing, though, it kind of.
Actually, I got to start. So let me. Pi is a currency that you can mine on your phone. What that means is every 24 hours, if you hit this little button, you start earning pi. Now, we don't know what pi is going to be worth one day, and it's not released, and people aren't using it as trading or to buy things, but one day they will.
Yeah.
And so that's how Bitcoin is created. People mine for it. And it sounds just absolutely stupid, but that's just the way it works.
It literally sounds like what were those things back in the gigapets? Hey, the little things you used to have back in the 90s, your kids would have, and you'd hit like a button and it'd feed them. You had to feed them like 4 times a day. That's basically what this does. You just hit a button and it mines all day, and then hopefully down the road your pie matures, and then.
Excuse me.
Are you cold now?
No, this thing, I don't know if it leaks or what. We'll turn it back on.
High tech.
So with that, if you join Pi, okay, because anyone can join Pi and they can mine it on their phone. That's what this app is right there. I'm mining Pi right now as we speak. It doesn't take any resources. I don't even have to keep the app open, but once a day. But we both have teams.
You got a lot more people on your team.
I've got 60 people on my team.
I've got 10. That's why you have 11,000 something. I just broke 1,000 yesterday, and I was so excited. I look over here.
Yeah, that is 11,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, and I will say they do say that Pi, from everything I've read on it, over the next 4 or 5 years, I think it'll possibly go up between the $5 and $10 range. So congratulations, you have a nice little.
Okay. So with that said, you can join Pi. I didn't even know that. This is not on our notes. I didn't even.
I remember.
You could join Pi, and to be on don't even be on my team, because I really have 60 people. You don't know your name, do you?
It's Kyle, Kyle.
Kyle.
81283.
81283.
Yeah.
So when you go in there and ask you for a referral, get on his team. He only has 10 friends.
10 people.
I have 60.
I dispatched the rest.
And then you help him earn more, and you earn more for doing that.
Yep. So,
and I have 60 people that I count them as my workers. And if they don't mine, I got 42 of 60 right now mining, which is not good. So I send a reminder saying, dude.
Hey, sometimes you send those reminders out at like 2 a.m.
Well, that's what I look at sometimes.
I get that, and I'm like, this son of a.
Oh, I can't send it. I already sent it. But yeah, that's all my team. So join Pi. It's the app. It's literally P with a small I, and it looks like the pie with 2 little dots, like 2 men or something.
Why's it gotta be 2 men?
Well, it's got 2 dots on like a heads on that.
Yeah, it's just
could be
symbol.
A man and woman.
It's the
pi symbol,
yes.
But the pi symbol don't have 2 dots like heads.
No, I mean clearly they did that to be more transhuman.
Yeah. So anyway, join his team. What's yours, Kyle?
Kyle 81283.
812. Mine's Garvin, by the way.
That's my birthday too. So if you want to send me birthday presents.
Oh, really? And mine's Garvin. If you want to join.
No one cares about your birthday.
Okay, no one cares. So with that said, we're all for currency now, right? Anything else you want to say on that?
I got out of gold.
Why? My thing is on silent. You got out of gold.
Yeah, I got out of gold. I'm holding on to my silver, but everyone was jumping out of gold, and I just figured, hey, before it dips, and I did, and
I've never been in gold in the market. My gold's clearly not where it's supposed to be. Safety deposit box. Did you know you're not supposed to put gold and money in your safety deposit box?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I don't care either, but that's what mine is.
I keep mine stored with all my brass and lead. It's safer that way.
I'm gonna get mine made into a tooth.
I mean, you could do that. You know, actually, though, during the Holocaust, they actually pulled people's teeth out because of that. So you might not want to, just in case you ever get taken anyplace.
We always have the stupid, dumbest facts that scare me
Like a
sometimes.
sponge of useless information.
So, anyway.
Yeah, so it's been a great year.
Yeah.
It's been a great year.
Let's talk about that.
So do you want to talk about the censorship first? Because I understand, and we know people who've been disappeared off of certain platforms because you talk about the V word, or you talk about the E word, or
by the way, Engineer 775. Scott.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is actually mining bitcoins from his house.
You told me about this.
And he's got a video on it. It kind of shows it. He kind of goes through his shop that it's kind of disappointing. The shop is so kind of like not organized because he's an engineer.
He has a lot of projects going on.
You would think it would be kind of organized, but it wasn't too organized. And he was kind of apologizing for it as he's walking through it. But anyway, he's got these machines. He's mining Bitcoin, and he's going to use the heat, I think. He'll tell you guys in the chat room. He's going to use the heat to create power to then possibly run the machine so it doesn't cost him a lot of electricity. Because that's the problem with
something like that from, I think, whenever you told me.
Yeah. Anyway, so I know I just cut you clear. But I saw engineer.
No, cool.
He's on next week's show, actually.
Yes, he is. I remember that. I hope Scott. I hope your garden worked out. I seen a video of that.
Oh yeah, He's got a pencils and protractors for fingers. He doesn't have a green thumb.
Wow. It happens. It happens.
So anyway,
I actually did pretty good though this year, so I'm going to be excited to use.
Wait, Patrick, that little turd. Patrick Bobbins is the guy, the financial genius. He actually has created ETF before. He's and he's recruiting people for his pie team on the channel.
Oh man, that's just brutal.
That's like my nephew-in-law or something. He's the guy that got in the current anyway. So where were you at? Where were you? I know I got distracted from the.
Someone said something that didn't work, so I was just going to go ahead and put in here real quick. It's Kyle 81283.
Oh,
that's the full thing. I think.
Okay.
Put in part of it.
So you were born in 83?
Yeah, old.
So tell them again. Kyle 81283.
Yes.
And P. Bobbins. He's recruiting people. That's funny.
We just kick him. Just kidding. So we're talking about this year.
Okay, yeah, this year. And censorship.
There's a bunch of really great channels out there. I know one of my favorites, I know you've listened to him too, but Doug Hackman.
Doug.
He's been back and forth.
He's been kicked off several times.
Yeah, I think he's on his final warning right now. And he honestly, for everything I've listened to him, he hasn't said anything that's false. But, censorship right now.
So the thing that stinks right now in our universe,
everything,
is Facebook. There's pretty good alternatives. MeWe was the best alternative that I could find. And Parler is not anywhere close to Facebook. Parler is not Facebook. Parler is Twitter. Everybody goes Parler.
No, Parler sucks.
Parler is. It's conservative, but you can't get your message out unless everyone follows you, and that's. And you can't have groups or teams or anything.
The thing that I like about Twitter versus Parler is people actually have conversations, and they'll just post random stuff, just like something to be funny.
Right.
Parler is like, look at this on Fox News. Yeah, I can go to the website and I can see that. Mm-hmm. Rush Limbaugh said this. Okay,
if they put links, they don't say.
Yeah, they don't give any sort of opinion. They don't give any other sort of fact checking or anything like that. It's just
right.
Here you go.
That's my pet peeve with people that post on our social media, YouTube and Facebook. They'll just post a link, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but why don't you spend 30 seconds and tell me why you think it's interesting? Which, don't share it if you're just sending a link. Tell me, say something like, hey, I watched this video, and it's telling on what the Democratic Party wants to do, or something like, just tell us why you're sharing it. That's just common courtesy.
Yeah, I don't like the pseudo-intellectuals who they read a headline and they don't read the actual articles and just go ahead and send everything over. How many podcasts do you listen to a week?
Quite a bit. I mean, I don't listen to music, so I would say
very rarely. I listen to music sometimes when I'm going to bed at night, but the rest of the
I
time,
would say 10 different ones.
yeah, I probably listen to about 4 or 5 hours of podcasts every day.
Mm-hmm. As you're working, yeah.
And then I go back and I fact check things, and I read medical journals, government think tanks that get released, declassified information, all sorts of stuff. That I mean, we would never have a time to sit down here and go through every little thing. But there's so much more information out there that people aren't sharing. They're just giving that
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing is, so Parler is supposedly the replacement for Twitter. Then there's no second. I mean, this close second to Facebook is MeWe. It's doing a pretty good job. But the problem is, there's the big elephant is actually YouTube. There are really no. There are like 5 smaller ones that are about equal.
I will say I know that Mike Adams started Brighteon,
Uh-huh.
and more people are moving over to Brighteon. I know a lot of people are doing Rumble, and there's something else. Patreon. A lot of guys do a Patreon.
Patreon,
Although,
and there's another one too.
I'd say the Patreon irritates me because there are certain individuals who are not at any risk of being taken off YouTube, and they will sit there and give like a 10-second clip or a minute clip, and they'll be like, "Hey guys, this is all I can say. It's top secret, but go over to my Patreon right now. Pay me $5, and you can find out." And I've done that for a couple of them because I've known some of these guys for years. I'm like, okay, well, if such and such says this, John says this, I'm going to go ahead and go listen. And then I go listen, and I'm like, this was a waste of $5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll hold on to it for like a month, see if there's anything else out there. And I'm like, you kind of suck. And that's why I just unsubscribe. And I think that's kind of where I'm leaning to this year. Going into the coming year is just getting away from any social media. Because not only is it the fact that they track us, there's also new government programs that are coming out there that they're actually using those apps to track us. What did I see? I think I told you about the other day. It was Signal something. It was a new Army project.
Yeah, it's not Signal, the app.
Not the app, but basically anything with an IP address can now bounce off of other devices to listen and tell who you're with, exactly where you are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're out in the middle of nowhere driving, they can still see.
Well, Amazon has released that called Neighborhoods or Neighbors or something, where if you have in your house, you have the little cameras. If you have the garage door sensor, and you have a camera out in the backyard, or you have the driveway sensor, the Ring doorbell, people can actually use that device to surf the internet. If their Wi-Fi is weak, it kind of builds a network around your property, and you can't control it.
I mean, I've even thought for some of the security devices I use, some of the cameras, they have dedicated IP addresses. And I'm thinking, okay, well, that probably means it's hackable, which I kind of assume anyways. But now I'm like, with all these programs, it's like at any point, I feel like Big Brother could just go, let's see what Kyle's doing in your shed today.
Oh, yeah. You see, I don't try to hide from the government. I do try to limit the information that goes to the government. I'm more worried about other people at this time in my life.
See, it's not about hiding. It's just about dignity. There's just things that's just like, you know what? It's none of your business.
I agree with that.
It's if I want to sit in my shed and have a chicken jump over my shoulder and take a crap, it's my business.
Yes. And so
that people share.
Yes. And so on my network, and one of the reasons we were slow, because we did a test beforehand, and I actually on my Wi-Fi router, I have a VPN installed, which slows it down. So I had to go over there and physically do a couple things and turn the VPN off so we could do the show and our streaming would be better.
So that we're in Venezuela now as opposed to Indonesia.
No, I turned it off.
Oh.
But so everything that in our house is going through a firewall and a VPN. Normally, it's off right now, so don't hack my house right now.
I will trust you because you're more the techie guy than.
And I teach people in my class on how to do that, and it's not. And on my phone, I have VPNs, and so my family, we all have VPNs, and so we do hide, but it's hiding from the government is something else.
Yeah, no, don't care about them. I pay my taxes.
That takes a lot of.
That takes probably just leaving the country.
It's totally off the grid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which
we're getting.
Maybe we'll see.
You can be off the grid tomorrow. Just take a tent and go, man. Yeah, seriously. If you keep complaining about it, just go.
Is what it is.
Yeah, and your wife would be the first one to shoot you.
Yeah. So that's what we've covered as far as this year. Do you feel like there's anything else that's like really stuck out for you that this year was just you learned prepping wise?
Well, hold that question. Let's be real honest. This year hadn't been bad for me. You've done pretty well for Son of It. At Son of It. I mean, we took a company that was $400,000 plus in debt, turned the whole thing around, and so it hasn't been bad financially. But yes. Now the question you asked me is what I learned. I've learned a lot of things.
Do you feel like there's anything that you've like drastically changed?
Yes. My force multipliers, I've bumped them up big time.
You have.
I have. So the basics, the staples, that's always been no problem at all. But but I've worked on that. I've actually got more firepower. I built an AR-15 and got some Glocks.
Another one, the one that I didn't help with.
Yeah. And the biggest thing that just stood out like a light bulb to me this year, the most game-changing thing that I learned, because I do a lot of consulting with groups,
mm-hmm.
and if it's planning their route their retreat, whatever, and I still can't get over this. There were communities that blocked people from coming in and out by their ID. That blew me away that was happening in America. The Bryson City area, they literally roadblocked all the roads so you couldn't get into Bryson City area unless you had a driver's license with your address on it.
I actually didn't even hear that.
And they also did it to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. There's only like 2 bridges to get out there, and they blocked them off. And my friend Michael, his parents have a beach house out there. They could get in on the island. He couldn't go visit them. But if their driver's license didn't have the house address, they couldn't go. So I had people that had a retreat. They could not get to the retreat because their license said that they were from Albemarle or Waxhaw or wherever. They could not, and literally they were physically blocked from going there. That amazed me that happened.
Yeah, I had not heard that, but I can see that happening.
Because of COVID.
See, that's one of my things. It's just been, I went to Pennsylvania for a little bit,
mm-hmm.
but I was worried about going up there and then having something happen where it was like, we're declaring a lockdown and now you're going to stay here for 14 days, or I'd have to come back and wait 14 days, or just get stuck somewhere. And but I am happy to see that, like, what was it? Was it out in LA? I think they struck down some of the orders for quarantine and stuff like that. No, it was something else.
Oh, okay.
I think it was maybe for like outdoor dining or something like that.
I know. I was in the beginning of the year when the COVID was hitting in March and April. I couldn't stop traveling. I had to go to my Son of It's in Illinois, and I was traveling up there, and I flew a couple of times, but I drove, and everybody's like, "Why are you driving to Chicago area?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "You ought to see my back." I had so much supply. It was, and the scary thing was, and now that I'm not driving to Chicago, you can't take your guns in Illinois.
No, we actually had a mutual acquaintance who actually flew with his, and I think he got caught up that way
Mm-hmm.
without paperwork.
Well, I had a gun in the safe at Sun Oven. I mean, I just, yeah.
Yeah.
I would never break the law.
No. And that kind of takes us to what's upcoming. Because I think there's a lot of people who are still hopeful that Trump will end up remaining in Washington.
Yep.
But if he does not, we know that the current administrations that would be taking their place are outright saying they'll be coming for our guns.
The boating accident. I'm gonna start that company. It's called Boating Accident Gun Retrieval Service.
Yeah. I remember years ago, there was another guy that was president. Imagine that. The NRA called, and she was talking about something to do with gun confiscation, and they were working on some law, and they wanted, my $5, whatever. And I said, no. And she says, well, is there anything I can do to change your mind? And I said, well, let me ask you, what's the NRA's official response to this bill if it were to pass?
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, well, you'd have to hand in your gun. And I said, well, that's why you're not getting my $5, because that's the wrong answer.
Yeah.
And seeing the bill, did you ever read the bill that's being proposed?
No, you told me about it.
So it was reactivating the 1934 NFA. It was a $200 tax stamp per rifle, per magazine, 13-page form, fingerprints, ID, and registration. And I think they said it was going to cost America like $43 billion or something like that. Just too much damn money for people who aren't working or are working but have had a payroll reduction, or just everyday living expenses, especially if they have childcare, because childcare costs are going through the roof from what I've read. So, I just really hope that doesn't happen, because
we need to buy all the guns we need now.
I mean, I've been there.
Yeah.
Except for a 50 caliber, which maybe one.
The AR-10. You can't get me there, but that's it. But I did talk to a young man that he in sniper school he was shooting an AR-10.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Drink check. What are you drinking tonight?
Full throttle. That's what I drink every time I'm over here.
Full throttle.
Yeah. What are you drinking?
This is
cherry daiquiri.
No, this is flavored sparkling water beverage. Strawberry.
Zero sodium.
Zero sodium, 0 calories, 0 caffeine.
I feel like
I don't need a drug to make me feel better and to get me.
The caffeine is purely for my heart. It's just if I run out of caffeine, I stop pumping.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good information. That's new information.
Yeah, like 600 to 800 milligrams of caffeine a day. That's what I need.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Trump won the election. Can we say that?
Did he? No. Bye YouTube. Literally, just channel goes right down. Yeah, so
did he win?
I personally think he won. And I remember staying up on November 3rd, and it was probably like 3 a.m, and I went to sleep, and whenever I woke up, there were just like hundreds of thousands of votes that magically appeared, but none for Trump. Actually, I think there were some where he even dropped. And I was like, how does that work? And then it happened again. And then the next day, and the next day, and are they still counting more votes?
I heard somewhere they found another 100,000 or something votes. I mean, ballots that weren't counted. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and just by the way, about 20 times more people listen to us on the podcast than they do on YouTube. So we really don't care.
No.
On YouTube, we got, our video, good video gets, 2,000 to 3,000 listens, and our podcast blows out of the water, and they can't censor us. So go ahead. I don't care if we get kicked.
That's good.
So
that's That's real good. I don't either. That's not my channel.
Okay. Well,
We could make another one.
It will be on the prepping.
We could do the Prepping Academy 2,
Yeah.
Prepping Academy 3, and just keep posting. No, but I think at this point, if Trump doesn't get into office, and I'm not a huge Trump guy. I've never been a huge supporter. I mean, I like some of the stuff he's done. But Biden, no. Kamala Harris, no. And just to qualify that, doing the research, and I'm not saying watching Fox News. I'm not saying reading Drudge Report or Zero Hedge or anyone else. I'm saying actually going back through news articles and looking at some of these people's known associations. I actually was kind of prepping, no pun intended, for this past week, just thinking what we were going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I was overwhelmed by the amount of news that has been coming out. And then you go back and you start looking into it a little bit more by the number of connections that some of these people have. Like I know back in February of this year, Mike Pompeo had a little dinner with some governors.
Mm-hmm.
And he literally said, so you guys do know that your names are all on a list, and there's a Chinese dossier with basically, are you friendly? Are you foe? Looking at your state economies, trying to work out and negotiate deals with these people. There's a Michigan representative that I was looking into today. Did you see the video with the Michigan rep that came out and was threatening Trump?
The satanic one, almost? Yes. She got disciplined. They kicked her off all panels.
Well, that's excellent.
And then they're doing an investigation.
Well, that's great because she has a lot of ties to the Chinese as well. Mm-hmm. But that was stuff that
How about the guy in, what's his name, in California?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they were the ones saying, Russia and all this stuff.
But how dare she sit there during some of these panels and these talks and accuse witnesses that actually watched stuff happen with the ballots, accuse them of lying. But then she comes out and says this. And I'm thinking, man, before I started looking into some of these people, I was thinking, if you're going to talk such a big game, you actually have to have some sort of support. And you know what? Sure enough, when you look at these people, you see their associations with the Chinese consulate, with the CPA, with other organizations, just like Black Lives Matter, they all talk a big game. And then you look at all these news stories where you see that the Chinese have been trying to funnel in weapons parts, full auto sears, suppressors, illegally that we've been catching East and West Coast. And that's why they're talking big, because they know that China's in their corner.
Right. So a lot of people have abandoned Fox News.
I did probably 8-9 years ago.
Yeah, you did. I only watch, probably, if I watched it, it was Tucker. Maybe some Sean Hannity, but mostly Tucker. But now I've completely turned it off. And you may ask, where do you get your news now, Forrest? I love this app.
Well, you've told me about this. Which one is it?
It's called The Report. It's a T and the R. It's called The Report. And what it is, it has Liberty Daily, Breitbart, Gateway Pundit. It's got Citizen Clear, Free Press, Zero Hedge, National Review, all the conservative magazines and blogs. And you can click on it, and it nicely organized all the news stories. It's got the Red State, the Blaze, Town Hall, Newsmax. So you go to Newsmax, and it just has all the top reports.
See, I don't go to them. I know you said that. I go to the Daily. Was it the Daily Liberty?
Daily Liberty. Yep.
Or the Liberty Daily. It's one of those.
It's called Liberty Daily.
There we go.
Yes, and it's on there. It's one. So you click on that, and it has all the top news right there. You just click on it and read the story.
Yep.
So that's my new app. That's where I'm getting my news now, and from little voices I hear.
That's where I get about 90%.
So let's talk about a little bit about where you get who do you follow in your podcast or your YouTube channels?
So probably my biggest go-to guy is probably Doug Hadman. Love the guests he has on there, especially Steve Quayle. I've listened to Steve Quayle, though, for ages. Ages. I think back whenever he was on Coast to Coast.
And you guys need to check these out. You want some entertainment? You want some news, some real facts? These guys,
Very
Hagman and
very
Steve Quayle.
information packed. And guys like Steve Quayle, he's been preaching this for 20, 25 years. This isn't anything new. It's the fruition of everything guys like him have been warning about. And same with Hagman.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, I would say Israeli News Live. I think he has a new channel, Fact News or something like that, because YouTube censorship again.
How about Mike Adams?
Mike Adams for sure. Yep, I've loved his situation reports. He's great. He's funny.
X22. Are you
I'm not a big X22. X22 I feel is like kind of like regurgitated stuff.
It's not conspiracy theories. It's all conspiracy theories. And QAnon stuff.
I don't follow anything with Q.
That amazes me because you've already figured out that the China virus was created by the Inca Indians 17,000 years ago and for this very day.
No.
And the UFO is the one that dropped the vial off to them.
No. It was the Chinese that were stealing from the Canadians that took it over to China and re-released it over there.
I will say this. So when you always talk about conspiracy theories, and you always say, well, first, there's always truth in every conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've drank the Kool-Aid or I've just got
There we go.
dumb. I don't know, but I've been getting in some of these as well.
You've actually told me a few, and it was mostly, I think, QAnon based. And I was kind of like, no, I don't think so. But for the most part,
But I never used to do conspiracy theories. I never even cared about them.
well, the sad thing is now is even if you back something up with truth, investigations, affidavits, you're still called a conspiracy theorist.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the pseudo-intellectual BS left that continues to just propagate more and more lies. And I can't take much more of it.
Yes, someone asked what app it is called The Report I wish I could show you what the icon, but if I showed you, it would not show up. So, but anyway, it's called The Report. And it has, I guess I can look it up a little bit here. But yeah, conspiracy theories though. So we didn't really talk about a lot because Sam from Forbes Observer's been booted off of Facebook. And these aren't conspiracy theories. Why are they doing that? Why are Americans letting? See, I think that the CEO of YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, I think they should be arrested tomorrow for election interference by controlling media to people. People say, well, they're private companies. True, they are private companies. But if you print false stuff and only let false stuff out, I think you should be held liable.
I think if we had everyone's financial records, I think we'd be able to see a little bit more of why they're doing this. Kind of like, what was it? I mentioned it the other day. There was $400 million paid out to Dominion via the Chinese. So while you're over there, I'll ask you, and then you can answer whenever you get back here. Do you know what the four major indicators are of a coup d'état? And this kind of answers.
I turned the sun back on.
Yeah, you turn the sun back on. I was starting to feel a little.
Yeah, I know you. I can tell you over there shaking.
Yeah, that could be the caffeine too. But what do you think the major indicators are of a coup?
I don't know, but I'm sure you're getting ready to tell us.
So the first one would be manipulation of information.
Okay.
Do we see that?
Yes.
Okay. So defunding the police.
Yes.
Do you know who really worked hard at that too?
Harris?
No. I'm not talking today. I'm talking like in history.
Oh.
So historically, that's how the SS came to power.
Okay.
So they managed to defund the police and then said, oh, hey, but we'll go ahead and put our guys over here. They can do this. So historical revisionism.
That would be.
Yeah, that would. So historical revisionism and the removal of historical artifacts, statues. Do we see that?
Yes.
Okay. De-arming
When they take
citizens.
down the Rocky Balboa in Philadelphia.
Didn't they?
Oh, no.
I'm pretty sure they actually did. I think they moved it somewhere else.
Darn.
Yeah. But then the last final step is disarming your citizens. And
You see, I am personally not worried about that.
I will be.
I don't think the government, the army, I don't think there's enough people in the world to disarm Americans. Because even if the rules are made up and they could change the laws, Americans at that time will revolt.
So here's my thing. One of the guys we follow that thankfully has not been kicked off of there is Ice Age Farmer.
Ice Age Farmer.
And we've heard a lot. We've heard a lot about food shortages. We've heard the World Economic Forum say that we should eat insects and recycled garbage.
And now everything is fake burgers and fake meat.
Yeah. So what happens if the majority of Americans are not preppers, don't know how to grow their own food, haven't saved up anything, but they have their guns, and they're told, well, times are really tough. We haven't been able to fix the economy, COVID-19, blah, blah, blah. Hand in your guns, or you can't go to the grocery store anymore. Get a vaccine, or you can't go to the grocery store anymore. And people say, well, that would never happen. Well, our friendly, quaint, lovely, maple syrup drinking neighbors to the north, that's exactly what's happening. They're being told, you will get the vaccine, or you will not leave your house. There are areas across our country, like New York and Virginia, who are trying to put together legislation where they're saying, you get the vaccine or you will not leave your house. You just won't be able to congregate. The DoD has put together vaccination cards to mail out to every citizen in America, showing what step you're on as far as the different vaccines, because I think it's going to be 3. What is it? Moderna, Pfizer, and the Oxford AstraZeneca. So those will be listed, and then you'll have to check off, or you have a check put on there to verify what you've had done. So
I think the first thing we should do is counterfeit them and hand that to everyone.
well, there's going to be a black market for that, I'm sure. I'm 100% positive.
I'm not going to get it. My family's not going to. No one, even in my extended family, none of us are going to get it. It's not a true vaccination.
No, it uses a totally different technology.
Yes. It literally changes your DNA somewhat.
It'll change the instruction coding
Yes.
for your DNA. It's not going to manipulate your overall genetic coding.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But the technology comes from essentially cancer research.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not been around that long. And if it's supposed to be used for fighting cancer and a virus are very different. And I understand that. I understand, generally speaking, I'm not a medically trained doctor.
Really?
But I'm not.
Sure think you are sometimes.
Sometimes. But we don't fully understand what proteins do in our bodies. So why would I want to go ahead and risk my life
Right.
or the life of anyone else to say, hey, this is definitely it's going to do what I think it's going to do. There's only, 200,000 different,
And
protein synthesis, that could actually,
and it's going to
happen.
cause a problem because some businesses may tell their employees, all employees have to get this.
I've got that one solved. I haven't worked in months.
Well,
For anyone else.
I mean, my family's good, and if they tell us, if they say, well, your child can't come to school anymore, I'm fine with that too. We'll homeschool.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's just some crazy things. What is this world going to look like with Biden as the president?
So it's funny. It's funny.
If he wins.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because one of the things I did today was read up a little bit on what think tanks are saying. And Democrats are going to be real pissed. They're going to be real pissed. So, for instance, he's given John Kerry a position.
Susan Rice too.
Yeah.
Just got a.
So, what you have to understand is the person that a president surrounds themselves with. A lot of these people have other associations and other agendas, and I'm going to tell you right now, their agenda isn't going to be anything to do with climate change. Well, they're going to say it's climate change, but what they're actually working on with some of these groups is to basically weaponize climate change. So they'll want to police it more, but not like, Forrest, you can't drive that V8 you have out there. It's going to be more like, hey, Russia, you violated this, and we think you're producing too many carbon emissions. We're going to go ahead and invade you now. That sounds kind of familiar because we've done stuff like that in the past with other things for human rights and whatnot, but now they're going to change that narrative to involve climate change. I think what was the name? It was ASD, I think was a think tank that Kerry helped fund and find. Yeah.
So let's talk about this. Biden said once he's in office, he says that he has the power to put a mandate of mask for everyone in the nation at all times. And I think we'll go through another lockdown.
I think if he does become president, it's 100% guaranteed. I mean, have you read anything about this where the dark winter terminology comes from? The dark winter was actually like a test, I can't think of it. It was an operation they did years ago.
Winters are dark.
No, but there was specific terminology for dark winter, and I want to say it was run either in like the 90s or early 2000s. They're using terminology after things that they've already practiced for. But I definitely think he will bring that about.
So if that's the case, if we expect a lockdown, what's some things that people should be doing now?
Buy more toilet paper.
All you can buy.
Yes.
We want to create a toilet paper shortage.
Yes. Actually, I just want you to buy more toilet paper so I can buy more food. No, I'm kidding. You should definitely be buying food. I feel for people who have not done this so far, and there's definitely people who reached out to me and said, hey, I'm just now getting into this, or I've kind of slacked off. What should I be doing now? And I've said a million times, I've probably said it on here 30 times, just U.S. Foods.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We both shop at U.S. Foods.
Hundreds of videos on YouTube that show you how to go ahead and pack up your own food, seal it up in Mylar bags, put in your little oxygen absorbers, and get ready to go.
Yep.
Food, seeds.
You notice all the rice that I used to have in here and
eat it.
No, but I stored it, put it in storage buckets and beans and some all kinds. But yes, food is going to be important. It will suck if we have to go into a lockdown. I actually work in my not my bug out shed, my man cave. I don't know what you call this building. It's a shack in the woods. Yeah. I work inside this a lot of times, and so I don't have to go in. I don't have to go to Chicago. We're a well-oiled machine now.
In the 40 square feet.
I think. Why are you looking at your phone?
I was looking at my notes.
Oh, your notes.
Yeah.
You got notes for this show?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Max, like I said, it's overwhelming. The level of.
Y'all can cover your ears right now, but I believe in my book, I talk about the devil in the end acquires more power. And that's only because God allows him to. And I believe that is kind of what's going on right now.
Yeah. So I'll be honest, it's nothing I'm ready for right now. I've been doing a little bit of my own end times research and stuff we've never fully discussed. And I think you'll be interested to see. I'm gonna dump a load of information on you and let you sort through it before we ever talk about it on here. because some of this stuff you've never heard before, I'm sure.
Okay.
But I want you to question it.
Okay.
I'm not going to say I'm prophesying anything.
And he's saying that because I've studied end times for 20 years, which is kind of interesting. If there's new information,
I can back up dates.
Okay.
I can back up dates. I can't say exactly what will happen on those dates, but I can back stuff up.
Well, I guess there's some dates that are important because of the Jewish calendar, for sure.
And we'll talk about this.
Okay, we'll talk offline.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it because it's something I actually started probably about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And we have some important dates coming up. So I know that the first one's going to be December 21st. We have the Star of Bethlehem, essentially.
Oh, you have mentioned the Star of Bethlehem. Mm-hmm. See.
So we have that coming up.
Mm-hmm. The Star of Bethlehem. Tell people what the Star of Bethlehem.
So it's essentially a
close. Configuration.
It's a very close configuration of Saturn and Jupiter coming together. We know that the last time this would have happened would have been about 800 years ago. It does tend to come around about every 20 plus years or so, but it's not that close in conjunction that it would show up the way it's going to now. It won't happen again for.
And they think that's the actual configuration in the sky.
Yeah.
When the kings started towards Jesus, they saw the three kings started towards Jesus following that configuration.
And what's really interesting, that's kind of what I'm digging through right now, and I'm getting somewhere with it, but there's no actual information in the Bible that says where these kings would have interpreted this from, where they would have found this in our Bible. But there's that. You have people who are talking about the difference between the Julian and the Gregorian calendar, with the Mayan end date of December 21st, 2012. So a lot of them are actually saying it's 2020 now.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. You have Orthodox Jews, Orthodox rabbis who have come out and said that they have spoken to the Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I've been saying for years, and I know probably the majority of Christians aren't even aware, but what's been going on over in Syria for the better part of the past decade was really between Sunnis and Shias, and whenever they were interviewed, they literally said, we're trying to bring about the Mahdi. They wanted the number of flags, I think it was like 72 flags or something along those lines, that needed to show up in their nation. They were going to have internal strife, and their Messiah, the Mahdi, is supposed to come out of Dabiq. Well, if you've heard of Aleppo and all the war crimes that were allegedly committed there, Dabiq is a small town inside of Aleppo. You also have, out of the Quran, they're supposed to be almost decimated, and then they're supposed to be brought back. So they're supposed to grow in power. And despite what Trump said, I know, we wiped out ISIS, they're defeated, now they're growing again. So to me, I see all these little red threads, and somewhere they start meeting in the middle.
Is this Kyle's own conspiracy theory?
No, this is Kyle's. I actually read, and this all fits together.
Okay.
I mean, you can call it a conspiracy if you want to. If it makes you feel
currently it is.
It is?
It is.
Well, I'm going to make a little prediction that within the next year, I think things globally are going to
have a president. Oh, wait.
No. I mean, we might have two. I think that things are going to get far worse. Because honestly, I do believe that there's a real virus. We've had many, many discussions about this. I believe there's a real virus.
We believe there's two strains of the virus.
I believe there's more than two. I think there's probably about 5 strains.
Because one is deadly and one is not so much.
Yeah. But I think that this is going to be used to make things exponentially worse. And out of it, we're going to see someone step up to lead. And I think that's that person who's being spoken of.
So, wow. I thought you were going to talk about that. We need to talk about that offline, and I can tell you where you're wrong. I can correct you where you're wrong.
Well, look, it might not be within the next year. I definitely still think things are going to get exponentially worse, and governments are going to do certain things to, we'll say, make their citizens step in line. Mm-hmm. And you can do that a number of ways, but I do think within at least the next 4 years, we'll see that person.
Okay, I agree. I do want to say this. So a friend of mine walked into a gun store today and looked at the ammo. They had 100 rounds of 5.56 for $80. So it's 8 cents a round.
Mhm.
80 cents a round. Sorry, 80 cents a round.
Yeah.
And they had 9mm for, I think it was $35 a box. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me, should I buy some ammo? What do you think my answer was?
Yes.
Because I believe there's something going on with ammo. And I believe right now, if you buy ammo at the prices that, what's that? What's 35? What's 50, 35? That's about 80 cents a round.
Yeah.
Okay, roughly. I don't know. So 80 cents a round for 9mm, 80 cents a round for 5.56. I believe in a year, 2 years, 3 years, we will look back and go, oh my gosh, you remember when we could buy it for 80 cents a round? There's something going on, and let me tell you why. This may be a conspiracy theory that I'm making up.
Okay.
If I am Remington and I'm making ammo, and have been for 8 months now, because there's been a shortage longer than just the 8 months since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
And most of these places, they don't work 24 hours a day. You could build another factory to create ammo in months. And they have to be working now 3 shifts a day, bringing in more equipment to make more ammo. The ammo, if you go by just a normal business, if the demand is so high and you can't keep it on shelves, you would do, I mean, if my Sun ovens were selling, every time I make one, it's gone, which has kind of been like it has been this year.
Mm-hmm.
What did I do? I got more inventory. I got more employees. I expanded my space to the point that I'm over leveraged in a way, in a sense. Go ahead and buy 1,000 a day. I can handle it. I got my business to that point. So, but you go into Walmart, you go into any gun stores, and they all are still out of ammo. And how many ammo manufacturing companies? There's a ton. There's a ton. Because just remember, some years, the military has ordered over 150 million rounds, and they still have to supply the market.
Well, think about DHS. Years
Yes.
back that order, it was like $1.6 billion.
Right. And so, with that said, something else is going on with ammo. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure it out.
Do you think it has anything to do with, I don't know, Trump calling most of our military back to the United States?
Well, that means they would be buying less ammo then, because we're using less, and we would.
Unless they think that there's something coming, and that's why.
And then they're buying
our
it?
soldiers back.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's
Because
something
those
going on with the
contracts-
ammo.
Those
There's
contracts could be
something
said,
wrong.
Hey, you need to fulfill this, and we need to make sure we have ammo on site.
True. Okay, but with supply and demand and in a capital market, ammo should not be a shortage in ammo right now.
I can't
I'm
argue
just
that.
saying there's something wrong, and I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is, but I wish we could figure it out.
I mean, the only thing I can think of is raw materials.
But
And I mean, I know that there has been shortages with like soda cans and stuff like that.
can I tell you something? A secret?
Yeah, sure. In front of all these people.
I have a garbage can that rolls out to the road,
Yeah.
and I have a recycling can that rolls out to the road. The same garbage truck picks both of them up at the same time. They're not even hide it.
They just dump both in the same.
Yes, they did it the other day. We've heard other people say that they're both mixed and just go to the dump. They don't recycle anymore.
I just throw mine in a little pit and then burn it.
I just thought I'd bring that up. But I just think there's ammo issues. If there's a inventory, meaning getting the supplies in,
Yeah.
would you not, a smart business guy would search the world over, sign contracts to make sure he can get the raw materials?
Yeah. I think
because I go into the second largest gun store in North Carolina, and the only way you can get ammo is if you buy a gun or you shoot at his range.
how many guys do you think are actually like bulk buying though?
Everyone's buying all they can.
Yeah.
But all they can.
And I know what you're saying as far as the supply and the demand.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying that I think that like 22 years ago, we weren't in the same crisis, but 22 disappeared very quickly.
It's not gone now.
No, because everyone else is buying 9 and 223. And
Well, because they make so much 22 now, and they stored a bunch. They figured it out. I mean, but anyway, like Paramount Arms, huge. They sell probably more ammo in South Carolina than any other company. So they're a major player. You cannot go in there and get any of the top 6 ammo unless you buy a gun. That's crazy. Something's going on. Anyway, that's my little conspiracy theory. If you guys would send me an email with all the answers on that, that'd be great. But there's just something going on. But there's guns. They're not out of guns.
See, that's a different experience for me because when I've gone to different gun shops, I mean, I haven't been in one in probably a month, but there was like 5 guns on the wall.
Oh, no. I went into one in North Wilkesboro yesterday, Tuesday. There were guns everywhere.
And I can tell you from speaking to some of the guys who run some of those, they would tell me, I'd say something, same thing about the ammo. They'd say they would put it in order for, let's say 100 boxes.
Okay.
And they get 1 box.
Mm-hmm.
And they would call up and say, like, what the hell?
Right.
Well, they're like, well, that's the only box we had, but we decided to send it to you instead of sending it to this shop or this shop. But I don't know. The thing of it is, I hate to be like this. I have my ammo. You have your ammo. We were prudent. We paid attention. We listened. And like, if you don't, then
I've got 20 rounds if I need them or not. I did shoot my AR pistol, and it hurt.
to shoot it.
Oh yeah, $1. That's what I was thinking.
Imagine how I feel
every time I pulled the trigger. $1, and I shot like 80
Imagine
rounds.
how it feels shooting
like,
338.
Oh gosh, I felt guilty.
Imagine shooting 338 or 50 caliber.
Are they like $250 a piece? What are they now? Is that no? What are they?
They were like $7, $10 a round whenever it was good. I don't even want to know right now.
See, that's why I didn't buy them. Now, someone asked, "Where's 22 rounds?" I went into North Wilkesboro, man. They had a whole shelf of it. They had that's the only gun shop I've seen with actually 9mm on the shelf. I don't know the name of it. It was a sweet little gun shop up in North Wilkesboro. You haven't traveled any during this, except to Pennsylvania.
Went to Pennsylvania. That was really good. Haven't done any more traveling.
I've been to Tennessee. I've been to Illinois.
Well, I figure if you drive through, you probably have to go.
No, and for business.
Yeah, Kentucky, Indiana.
So.
No, I probably won't do any more traveling until spring or so, something like that.
So.
And then we'll see if they, start saying I need to have a.
So let's talk
vaccine
about what
card.
my wife got and I had 2 weeks ago. I don't think I told anyone.
Yeah, I would.
Not tell people.
No, I'd keep that. I'd keep that. Yeah.
So, well, let's just say this: my boys are on campus at Chapel Hill, and my son was in a room with 13 people that actively had COVID, and he still hadn't got it.
Yeah. Did you read the stuff about how they actually test for COVID and they have to cycle through it so many times? And they're saying,
"Can you get it again?"
That's interesting because I think the Japanese came out with a study that said 90% of people who got it, even like 6 months or later, still have the antibodies. So, because we've been hearing stuff where like, oh no, once you have it, the antibodies go away.
Mm-hmm.
You need to take this vaccine. So I'm going to pay attention more to what the Asian folks are saying.
I'm
Because
telling you,
they've been in this longer.
the American doctors and they have been so discredited through, like the hydroxychloroquine is a good one. Every study in America, there was only 6 studies in America done on hydroxychloroquine. Every one of them either did it wrong or lied. One of them lied so bad they retracted the entire study. But if you look at the studies from overseas, which we don't get to see that because the news didn't let us have that, but there's a Dr. Mobeen on YouTube. He's the man.
Oh, I remember you sending me.
He goes through every study, everything, and he said, you know what? None of my patients have died.
Yeah. Yeah,
thousands of patients, none of them have died.
I think it's really interesting that you have a guy like, imagine Elon Musk. He put out something on Twitter where he took 4 tests.
4.
He had 2 positive, 2 negatives. I'm not Elon Musk, but I'm sure that Elon Musk has the best medical care.
Tests.
And then you have all this information now coming out where they said they're running these cycles on the testing 30, 40 times. And they said no matter whether you have it or not, it's going to show positive because we all have at some point in time.
It had some type of
some sort of virus in there, some sort of coronavirus that as you do this, it's going to show up. It's going to replicate some sort of.
True story. At the robotics company I used to work at, I worked with a lady there. Her son went to go get tested. Filled out the paperwork, sitting there, and he asked, kind of how long is this going to be? And the lady said 3 hours. No lie. Did you just wink at me?
No, eyes dry.
Okay.
I didn't. I blinked both eyes.
It looked like you just winked at me. And he left. I know the lady. I know the boy. True story. He left. 2 weeks later, he got a positive test result in the mail. Didn't even take the test. He signed his forms, and he said, I'm not waiting 3 hours. He's a teenager, 19. He's like, I'm not going to wait for this. And he left. He got a positive result.
You know the thing that burns my ass about this?
What's that? I'm
thinking back to 8-9 months ago. How many of us, and I don't know, I've talked to other people in here who have a similar experience, don't have a job. You've spent 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and then suddenly, because of the government, you don't have a job. And you can't get back into the job that you had because of all the restrictions, or the jobs just aren't there, or they don't pay nearly what they used to, or your company went bankrupt and is gone. I've never been fired from a single job. I've never even had some sort of major correction or warning or anything.
Maybe I can fire you from Preppernet Academy.
It might be a fun experience. Very, very. I don't know.
You've never been fired.
But we essentially got terminated from our jobs because of our government.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's to save to save the unhealthy people. That's why we're doing this.
I can say I have a very empathetic side to me, and I bought that for a certain amount of time. Yeah, I did talk about dispatching people that one time. But no, just actually sitting here looking at the facts. I seen something from the CDC the other day. They're not going to report flu deaths. They're not even talking about how many of these cases right now are flu related. And I'm sorry, but if you tell us that the masks are going to stop the coronavirus, then wouldn't they stop the flu virus? So in the other way around, it just seems like there's some sort of logical component there.
We care about people so much. We let people drive to work, and hundreds of thousands of people die every year. We should probably do a lock-in from driving.
I think it's 30, 40,000, somewhere in that range that get killed in the country. But I see your point. We should probably still stop that. And
we should stop that. We can't cancel. We're trying to stop. We just don't know really what causes it. As soon as we find out, though.
It's kind of like all the spoons that have been making people morbidly obese and causing heart conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, you know what? Energy drinks. We should ban those. Oh, all sodas. Anything with trans fatty acids.
It's just. So the question is, was this a plot?
Well, See, it's funny you say
A
that.
pandemic.
It's
Was
funny.
it?
It's funny you say that because, see, I mentioned this at the very beginning before we went into lockdown. I think I actually did it on here. Do you remember that there were protests going on over in China? There was protests because
I
of
do
Hong
remember.
Kong.
Because of what?
Because of Hong Kong.
Hog call.
Hong Kong?
Oh, okay. Okay.
But then those protests all stopped. Because what they do? They turn on their surveillance state, they crank it up on high, they shut everything down, and they maintain control. And then you see all this wonderful election stuff that happens, like mail-in ballots. If we didn't have a lockdown, mail-in ballots wouldn't be a thing.
Right. Okay. Man, you're going all conspiracy theory now.
No. I'm not going conspiracy theory. It's just about actually putting things together. So
Okay.
you look at what's happened in China, what's happened with the mail-in ballots, what's happened with all of these Democrats that have communist ties. They've gotten money from these organizations. You look at money that is known to have come from countries like China, Iran, Venezuela, and then you think, oh crap, those are probably places where we've tried to throw coups ourselves, isn't it? And then you look at the organizations who are undoubtedly involved in our own little color revolution, because you've heard that term more often, right?
Yep.
And you think, well, holy shit, they just turned everything on its head and turned it right back against us.
This broadcast is PG.
We can edit that out.
Okay.
That's personally, it was going to go there eventually, but that's what I think's happening. I think that our government has gotten its nose into so much business over the years, and I'm sure someplace, if Ron Paul would ever see this,
Right.
Ron Paul would probably be like, blow back. Just blow
So
back.
do you remember though when the scenes first came out in China, in the Wanhu area?
The Wuhan? You mean the Wuhan?
Wuhan. There were people walking
And then just dropping dead?
and dropping dead.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Do you remember the reports about we can't get satellite imagery because there's so much smoke
From the bodies burning.
Yeah. Well, but now they're having parties on pole rafts, and I don't hear them talking about you
They
need to
would
give
show
everyone vaccines.
one guy walking and just go down to his knees and drop dead.
And you know what?
You
You know where this would have really
that
sucked?
scared the crap out of
You know
people.
where this would have really, really sucked? And
What's
it's
that?
there now, and it's still not as bad? India.
Hmm.
You're like, I figured, man, what's this? Is India? Millions dead.
You know why?
Because
They hand out hydroxychloroquine like it's candy. You can get it anywhere.
that's probably why it's not such a big thing down in Africa, in South America.
Japan. A lot of them countries over there.
Yeah. But here, we just need to take an experimental vaccine and hand in our guns potentially and just accept a fraudulent election. That'll get us paid.
But can you imagine you being, let's say you're 9 years old and you're watching TV and you watch a guy walking down in China and he falls over dead?
Yeah.
I
can imagine
Do you
me
think
being-
they were actors? Do you think that was all staged?
Like deep fake type stuff, or
Yeah.
like, you know, part of me honestly wouldn't be surprised.
Because
For seeing
no
everything
one in
that we do
America
now,
has been walking down the street or walking downstairs in their own house and die.
here's my thing. Whenever this all started, what were we in the midst of with China? Trade war.
Yeah, but the bill was already, the treaty was already signed though, or the agreement.
But has this hurt our economy? Do we know that the Chinese have been
Parts
tied?
of our economy.
Do we know that the Chinese have been tied to the elections?
Dude, this is going to be kicked off YouTube tonight.
I'd be so excited. That was really girly.
I need to act. I see that in you all the time. Oh, I'm going to have to download this immediately though.
Yeah, put it straight over to the podcast. I'll start that Rumble account later. Well,
I've got the Rumble, and I got that other one too. I forgot the name of it, but it is it's fascinating. So our family, at what point? See, so you, well, I don't want to get into your family, but through some circumstances, you guys have to take this somewhat serious because of family members that may be a weak immune system or something.
Yeah,
we just all will say.
I binge drank.
Yeah,
not really.
My family, we haven't worn masks. The only time we wear masks is when we have to, and most of the time, if we don't, we skirt every law. I mean, we'll go. We'll wait until someone gets seated in the restaurant, and then we'll go sit down with no mask.
See, I'm going to be able to stop wearing a mask. I will be able to stop wearing one probably in about another 6 months, because what I'm going to do then is just get a rubber band and just flip my beard up.
Yeah,
and then just it'll be fine.
So, but oh wait,
he took notes for the show too.
No, what is one of the guys watching wants to know my Proton email address, and I'm trying to think of what it is, because I actually the true Proton one. But anyway, but so they're locking down North Carolina again from all the schools.
Are they?
Mm-hmm. There's a curfew, 10 o'clock. You're not supposed to be out past 10 o'clock in North Carolina. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't. Well, I guess I'm breaking that tonight.
And there was a group meeting last night at Texas Roadhouse. At what time do you think?
10 o'clock?
10 o'clock.
Man.
The protest.
That's crazy. I feel like a teenager again. I'm like breaking laws, and no, I didn't break laws as a teenager. Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, I didn't. When did they pass that?
They don't pass it.
They just tell you.
They just tell you.
They just tell you. Okay.
But I am lucky because I live in a county where the sheriff goes, kiss it.
Yeah.
He doesn't enforce and will not enforce any of our governors.
Well, we're seeing that more and more, even over in California. They're starting to kind of.
But in your area,
I could care less.
The only time the police are getting involved in the Mecklenburg County area is when someone complains.
Karens.
Ooh.
It's a lot of Karens complaining, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in my county, I'm out in the hills. I'm out in the woods, the sticks. Sheriff said, bring it. Not going to happen in this county.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of that's going to happen where local sheriffs are not going to, especially in rural America, they're not going to abide by any of that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I'm not too worried about it. Yeah. You were like obsessed with your phone this time.
No, a very important thing is going on right now, and I apologize. We're sending some top secret messages back and forth that
it's probably for fantasy football.
You know, I'll be honest, I haven't watched one football game this year except college, and no professional sports except MMA. That's all I watch.
Yeah.
And you won't even watch MMA with me.
I don't know. I did see that one guy from YouTube knock out that other guy. That was about it. I don't think I've watched any good fights in years. Okay, you done now?
I'm done. There's a big transfer. I mean, it's an arms trade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What other subject did you have that we were going to talk about? We covered Trump, the Bitcoin, Chinese,
corruption. Oh, you know.
Oh, I do have another announcement. Let me go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
I was going to mention, it's up to 21 states now who are suing the contested states.
21. I thought I went to 18, but I didn't hear anything.
Nope, it's 21 now.
Is North Carolina's not one?
No, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
South Carolina did join on. So, I'm gonna be so happy if that really does work out, because I feel like there's a number of like liberals that their heads are just gonna pop.
Well, what happens if the laws? I mean, they could rule as early as tomorrow.
That would be excellent. That would be like an early
So let's
Christmas
say that
present.
they rule, and all of a sudden Trump becomes president. What happens to America?
Well, we talked about this the other night. I think I went on a little rant then. There's going
We
to be
usually
civil
talk.
unrest.
By the way, we usually talk either sometimes during the day, but mostly around after 11 o'clock.
You wait until the temperature, because I don't get really good reception. So he waits until it's about freezing outside. So I have to go out and stand on my back deck or go down with my chicken, who's locked up in her chicken jail.
And this is how we communicate.
Yeah.
Let's say it's 11:30, and I'll text him talk, and he'll go 5.
Yeah, and I'm punctual.
That means 5 minutes.
Yeah. So I personally believe 2021 is going to be a far worse year than 2020. I think we will probably see a secondary lockdown. I think even if Biden doesn't get in, I'm kind of at the point where the only reason I care about Biden getting in is because I'm not going to pay a $200 tax stamp on every gun mag I have, AR, anything like that. I'm kind of sick of hearing about all the liberal agendas. I'm kind of sick of being called a liar whenever I do the research and look at facts and I read medical journals from actual doctors and not that 2-bit Fauci. I'm just kind of tired of it. But that said, there's going to be civil unrest. There's probably, I'm not going to say it's going to be civil war. They'll find some other terminology for it because it's going to be broken up throughout the country.
Some people would argue we're already in a civil war.
Yeah, I mean, there definitely could be an argument for that. We're at the very early stages, and there's definitely events. Like there was a guy who had some sort of firework bomb that was thrown inside his house the other day. Did you see that?
Oh, yes. He was a Trump supporter, had Trump signs out.
How
about the kid that got killed in Atlanta?
When did that happen?
It's like he worked on one campaign and he was
I did. The young African American guy, right? No, that may have been up north.
He
I don't know.
died in a car wreck.
There's a lot. I seen someone came out. There was a former Merck exec, I want to say, that came out that was anti-vaccine, and she had repeatedly said she would not kill herself. Found dead, and they're saying she killed herself. And she would publicly post, "I will not kill myself. I have never been suicidal." She, obviously felt threatened enough to say that, and then somehow, I guess, her 9-year-old found her, which is sad. But back on topic, I think there will be some sort of full-scale escalation of things.
And have you read this?
Yes.
In here, one of the arguments I make, it's going to be disaster, pandemic, famine. It's all going to start pouring on us more and more and more. And I think I get that straight from the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like so I don't think I'm making that up. I think that I was reading that and it was being revealed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what things did we take? What things did we go through this year? We had more hurricanes than we've had in a long time. We've had what's called derechos,
which was never really a term that they ever mentioned before. It was always known as being straight line winds.
Yeah.
Which were wicked. I think some of those were 160 miles per hour.
Wiped out a percentage.
Oh, that's one thing I was going to tell you. Do you know what we have coming up this year on the East Coast? One of the largest brews
sharks
ever. No, not. It probably will be that too. Cicadas. It's their 17-year cycle. So all up and down the East Coast. This coming spring. Yeah, they're saying it's going to be like the largest ever.
And so we had locusts over the largest locusts.
Yep, the Africa went through the Middle East.
We had what else? Pandemic, of course. That's there were some other flooding in China. Wuhan. Am I saying it right this time?
Yes.
And Shanghai was almost completely destroyed because of the dam, the Three Gorges Dam.
Mm-hmm.
And the flooding wiped out almost China's entire rice crop. And so there's famine going on. There's lack of food. There's a lot of things that's happened in 2020.
Yep. There's a lack of soybeans, which a lot of people don't understand. Soy is the number one consumed good for livestock. And we're not at the point where nations are actually buying our GMO soy that they would never touch to feed livestock.
We had farmers throw away potatoes. We had farmers that dumped their milk,
their meat.
And so I think 2020 is we see things more clearly now.
So this was my last podcast. No, I'm just kidding. I'll just start doing it on my own.
Everyone is seeing things more clearly. It's 2020.
Oh my God.
Okay, let me
let
me take that joke.
Dad jokes that don't work.
Nope. Dad jokes. I will make an announcement though. Because of all the censorship, Preppernet has created its own social media site. You don't know about this?
No, I don't.
So we have created, we're going to release it with an email this weekend. We've created, not Facebook, not me. We will still be on Facebook. That's to gather people, because people will search for Preppernet, and they always do. And then we're going to steer them to, currently we're steering everyone to MeWe. But we created our own lake. Inside of all these social media sites and everything, we have our own lake where we control 100%. We will have all our groups in there. Our leaders will be in there. We can't be censored. It's our own. We control the environment. That is so that we can get to know each other, share information, talk about stuff. We can say anything we want and not get kicked off, and because we control the entire environment. And that has been it's been released to our leaders. It's been released to a few select people, and I think like Northeast Tennessee group is already on and communicating. So that's good. If you want to know about that, you're going to need to join Preppernet. It's a basic free membership, and the email will go out this weekend. And it's our own environment. That way we can't be censored. We can't lose our information, and we control it. You won't be on there, will you?
Oh, I was just going to say that. And it's, I would just personally.
That's because you hate people.
I want to like people. I really do.
That sounded so fruity.
I'm
going to turn the sun off.
I go for it.
I'm starting to sweat.
I don't know how you're starting to sweat. It's just hot flashes. It's not that I hate people. It's just I'm grotesquely disappointed in people. For everything that we see going on nowadays, it's sad. Really? It's 100 degrees.
No. Look at the red line.
I see it. It's 80.
2 ish.
I feel fine.
I hope so. I'm about to strip naked. It's hot in here.
That'll be the definitely would be the last show.
We need to edit that out. Yeah. It's 82 degrees in here. So
yeah. So I don't think it's going to be a good year coming up.
Well, so what we're going to do though is we've talked about this, and our viewers are going to sleep, which we understand. Mm-hmm. But again, we get way more on the. What we're going to start doing is me and you're going to start doing more podcasts. Oh, look at that in my front yard right now.
That looks tasty.
Yep. I have a closed network of video cameras around my house.
That was a deer, not a person.
Yeah, it was a deer in my driveway.
Yeah. I haven't had venison in so long.
Well,
so long.
I need to get a bow, like a crossbow.
If you want to restring it,
yep.
You know that. And have fun with that.
Okay, I'm going to propose a question for everyone.
You're going to propose?
Propose. It's not a question, but it's a challenge. We're preppers. or preparedness or whatever, we need to think through and help others. If they don't have the right mindset, don't help them. I'm getting to the point. Listen, if you don't want to listen to some of the things I'm telling you, die a miserable death. Godspeed.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So I think what you're trying to say is, with everything we've seen go through 2020, there's a very definitive separating from the wheat and the chaff.
And we got to learn from this. We think it's going to get worse. And if you think it is, take the necessary steps to make sure it's not worse for you.
There's 3 things I'd probably say, and I probably should have started with this so that someone didn't have to watch 2 hours in to get this, because this is probably the most important thing I'll say. Number 1, watch your communications. I know that
I agree, 100%.
We were talking about that the other day. I think we're just going to go straight to, even whenever he texted me at 2 a.m. to remind me to start working on my pie.
We're going to Signal.
We're just going to go straight to Signal, and that's
everything is Signal from yep.
And aside from that, I think the next thing you need to do is get off social media. Social media, these companies have so much influence because they're tied into your phones, to your web data, your computers. That's what keeps them powerful. Cut these companies off, you cut their life raft, their funds. That's it. The third thing is, and you probably can just answer this, what made the early church, and we're talking real early, we're talking like the first 10 to 50 years after Christ, what made them powerful as a group of people? What did they do that's significantly different from what Christians do today that preppers could do and could benefit greatly? And it's something that they're always looking for. Groups got together and didn't just get together. Everyone pitched in for
shared resources.
So and
a commune.
And that's basically what I'm saying. And I know that that's not going to be a popular thing, but with what we see going on with so many people being strapped, I would say that if it's come down to a point where, if it be family, friends, if you're not in some sort of group at this point, I'm going to say you probably got about less than 6 months to kind of get your act together. But I think that people need to start pulling their resources together. Because look, I mean, like, I know for a fact, looking at financials, millennials are strapped. Even with our vast population that rivals baby boomers, we only represent about 4% of the economy. Millennials, Gen Z, on down, screwed across the board. The only way people like us are ever actually going to be able to stand on our own and up against these things is by grouping together and sharing resources. I mean, even if it's not, you don't want to go out and sell your home and 5 other people want to do the same thing and go buy property somewhere, which we've seen happen. I know that there were some families down in Georgia, based on things going on down there, they did that. But if you have, Jim's a mechanic and John is, a butcher, and they just work together. Jim needs meat. John needs his truck fixed. Work together, share resources, share knowledge. That actually needs to stop being talked about and just done to help people out.
Yes, I agree. And I think bartering is going to be coming back to a real, there'll be an economy built on bartering.
I think it'll be behind the scenes. It'll be background. Right. Because I think with everything the World Economic Forum's trying to push, and I will say, I know that we're making money. I know other people are making money off of cryptocurrencies, and you can argue centralized, decentralized. I believe 100%, and that's why I chose to go with what I went with. Mm-hmm. It'll be centralized. There's no way that they're going to not allow everything to be seen. And we see that from a biblical standpoint. They want to have full control. They want to know what you're buying, what week you're buying it, how often, etc. So I'm going centralized personally. Mm-hmm. I think there will be a window of time where you'll be able to use what you gain off of those funds to buy more preps, accomplish a few things. Hopefully I'm right. If not, then I'm not taking any sort of marks or chips or shots or free range. Like my chickens.
Are they really free range? They have
enough range. They have a lot more than
semi-free.
They have a lot more than other chickens.
Now, where I was up in the Wilkesboro area, there's free range chickens out there. That they just matter of fact, there's free range. The guy that I gave some rabbits to,
yeah,
he just let them go in his yard. And imagine these white, big old mother rabbits, huge.
Yeah, no.
And they're running.
There's so many
the funny
owls.
thing is, he started with 5, and he's down to like 3.
Yeah, there's so many owls. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
they'd be gone in like a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't have any. Oh, what I was saying is we're going to start doing more podcasting.
Yeah, we'll start doing more podcasting. And I apologize. This is the first one I've done in like 2 months, so it's not.
A lot of it's your fault because you have to come here.
Yeah, it is.
See, and if you would get internet, I live out in the boonies, and I have great internet. He lives in the city.
I use doves to communicate.
And you have your internet is so bad we can't even do it.
By the way, did you find my last one? The pigeon I sent you?
We ate them.
I figure.
Roxy, right?
Yeah, Roxy. That's right. No. But I will say going forward, and we haven't really discussed this, but I know from what my portion of it is, there's honestly so much information out there right now with what's going on. I'm not going to do conspiracy theories that much anymore because, quite frankly, we're seeing so much stuff happen. What do I actually have to offer?
But I've told you many times. Well, you do have a lot to offer, and I've told you many times.
So I'm not going to.
I have a digital recorder or your laptop, and you can do a podcast by yourself.
I'm probably going to go back old school and stuff that I did back before I ever met you, and we're probably going to do more videos on guns and actual prepping, and probably more biblical stuff. Because honestly, that's the way I think that people need to be leaning.
I mean, I got the equipment for you. You just need the bandwidth.
Yeah. Maybe I can just.
ISDN went out a long time ago.
Yeah, no, just playing Windstream. No. So it's been about 2 hours.
Oh, look.
More venison.
Yep. Coming back just right now. There's a deer in my driveway. So.
Do you have anything else?
I don't have anything else.
So we'll do it, not next Thursday?
Yeah, next Thursday I have Scott Hunt on.
And then there's Christmas.
I would like, he used his real name. Never mind. Shout out to a friend of mine that's in the chat room. But he is, y'all won't know who he is, but anyway. But he is going to graduate from the police academy tomorrow.
Police Academy. That was a good movie.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I wish I could make the sounds that one guy made.
I like Meatloaf.
Oh yeah.
My cousin used to do a good Meatloaf impersonation. He would drive around and he would just stick his head up.
But that's one of the movies you can only watch. You can't watch now because I just can't watch that movie now. But there's some movies I can watch over and over and over, but not Police Academy.
Yeah. I don't like reruns. Yeah. Maybe next time we do a podcast, we should have like cigars, or maybe like steaks. Maybe we should this one a little bit more interactive.
Okay. Yeah, we probably should interact with the people a little bit more. It's been so long. We just get here and talk, and Michael Klein says, "Embrace the suck." Yeah.
There's gonna be a lot of that going around.
Yeah. But what I do have planned. Let's say that there's a huge lockdown again. I have put together people on standby to do a summit to get information out. So people will be given, you'll be given a topic, and then we'll talk about that topic to educate people and help people.
It'll be like a hot topic.
Sure.
Kyle's hot topic.
If that's what you want to call it,
yeah,
fine.
That's what we'll call it.
Uh-huh.
So I have a fun sense of humor like that.
And it's going to be what? Lava? So anyway, hey, you guys can catch us on Prepping Academy. This is going to be posted on YouTube, of course, but it's on a podcast as well. You know, anytime we get together, we just kind of chat. But we do when we get in the regular podcast. We do have subjects and we talk about things, and there's a but next week's gonna be good with Scott Hunt. Y'all should join us. Scott and Hunt we're gonna talk about some good stuff.
Yeah, and I'll just give a special shout out now. I apologize to my brother for brainwashing your child.
My child?
No, my nephew.
Oh yeah, your nephew.
Yeah, because.
Yeah,
I'm sure I'll get something if he actually takes time to watch it.
I counted you. I think you cussed 5 times.
I'm doing better.
That's the truth.
I didn't drop any F-bombs though.
This is PG-13. You know,
it's YouTube.
So anyway, it's been 2 hours, and we're going to be. So next week is Scott. Like I said, the new year. We're going to get together weekly and do a true podcast. I'm not sure we're going to do the video cast, but we'll do a podcast at least, because that's where all the money is.
Are we going to make money off this? That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be
great.
But our podcast listener base is far outnumbers our YouTube. I don't know if is that standard.
Yeah, I mean, well, whenever we used to do this. Years back, I mean, we had a bunch of Canadians. There's probably a lot of Canadians listening.
I have the
totals,
all the totals and the countries and all that stuff. More women listen to us on the podcast than men.
Just funny.
But you don't know if the woman set up the account and the man. You don't know. That's really not a good statistic.
I doubt that.
I don't know.
I think probably the man has his own account.
Catch us next week. You're not going to be here.
No.
It's Scott and I. And Scott, it's going to be an intimate Christmas special.
Well, that sounds creepy.
With Scott Forrest.
Scott, cancel.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good. Hey, thanks for joining us. Join Preppernet. Join our MeWe site, and join Preppernet just so you can get the email about our own little universe that we're creating in social media. Because we're not even going to call it social media, because it's our platform, kind of, sort of. So anyway, next Thursday night on Preppernet's YouTube channel, if we're still on YouTube.
That's me.
Yep. God bless. Peace.
Peace.
Later.